Feel the rhythms, hear the words, see the power of visualization at carnival fetes and band launches that portrays and sell costumes by utilizing the music of carnival, pan, calypso, and soca.
One, two, three, hammer now. Obia. 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 I just put my hands on me. Thank you. Bust it you now, you ready? Oh gosh. You know my best village? Yeah.
Watch now, we had to come
What we say? Come on now. Obia. 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 Hold it there. Hear me now, tell she driving me mad, she driving me crazy. I can't understand this, but that is my baby. What? She driving me mad, hey. She driving me crazy. I don't understand this, but that is my baby. I buying she this, I buying she. I think she the best and all that out. She giving me bun when I turn me. I begging you please, I want you to stop. What? Girl, you taking this thing overboard. The scent of your cologne still in me clothes. You're telling your friends you does give me, but behind closed doors nobody. What we say? Cause she have the thing what does. What we say? Hey, hold me, hold me. The thing she used to control me. Yeah, why? Hey, I cannot forget the things what she told me. We're gonna sing the chorus now. She got the thing what does make me does. What we say? 1, 2, 3. Oh, let's sing. Obia, 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 Obia. I just put my hands on my head and Obia, 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 Obia. I just put my hands on my head. They want tired of the pain and the constant violation. This relationship have to done. Everywhere I look, where I turn for us. I can't do that dancing. There's nowhere to run. I feel him to pack up my things and done. She bubble in a pot. She want me to come. Wait, take it low. If you know you come out here to have a good time, I want to see everybody put your hands in the air like this. Put your hands straight up. If you know your armpit smelling clean and you love God, put your hands in the air right now. Let me see you now. Wave. We're gonna wave. Start to wave. We're gonna wave over here. Wave. Wave. Music up, up, up. Cause she have the thing what does hold me. Hold me. Hold me. The thing she used to control me. Oh yes. I cannot forget the things what she told me. Why? Hey. She got the thing what does make me does. I think is that Obia, 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 Obia. I just put my hands on the head and ball. Obia, 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 Obia. I just put my hands on the head and ball. Obia, Obia. Let's sing. Obia, 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 Obia. I just put my hands on my head and ball. Obia, 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 Obia. I just put my hands on my head and what we say? Oh yes, oh yes. You could whine. Let me see the wine. Could you go? Hey, go, go. Oh, she driving me mad. Yes, she driving me crazy. I don't understand this, but that is my baby. Get them, hey, she driving me mad. Hey. She driving me crazy. I don't understand this, but that is my baby. I buy she this, I buy she that. I guess she the best and all that I've got. She giving me bun when I turn me. I begging you please, I want you to stop. Girl, you taking this thing overboard. The scent of your cologne still in my clothes. You're telling your friends you just give me blows. Let me see the dance, the dance, right? What we say, cause she got the thing with us. Hold me, hold me, hold me. The thing she used to control me. Oh yes. I cannot forget the things what she told me. She got the thing with us. Why? I think is that Obia, 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 Obia. I just put my hands on my head and Obia, 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 Obia. I just put my hands on my head and the constant violation, this relationship have to done. Everywhere we are learn for our solution, my play. I feeling to pack up my things and
She bubbling up, but she want me to come. She must have
I'm gonna help them. I want them tell me sing. Right? I buy in she this, I buy in she. I give she the best and all that stuff. She giving me bun when I
in the back. I'm begging you, please, I want it to stop. Girl, you taking this thing overboard. The scent of your cologne still in me clothes.
You're telling your friends it does give me. But we take a social one.
Nobody knows. Cause she have the thing where does hold me.
Hold me. Hold me.
The thing she used to control me.
I don't want no man bust me head in you know. I cannot forget the things what she. I want everybody tell me sing the chorus. Obia. After 4, 1, 2, 3, help me. Obia. 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 I just put my hands on my head and Obia. Obia. Oh, I love my culture. What we say?
Obia, 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 Obia. I just put my hands on my head and bad.
Obia,
Obia.
There's a dance. There's a dance. You know the dance? You know the dance after 4, 1, 2, 3. Do the dance. 1, 2. Do the dance. 1, 2, 3. Everybody.
She driving me mad. She driving me crazy. I can't understand this,
But that is my
baby.
Hey, she driving me
mad.
She driving me
Crazy.
Hey,
I don't understand this,
but that is my
baby.
I buy in she this, I buy in she
That.
I give she the best and all that stuff. She giving me bun.
Night in the back, begging you please.
There's
I
the
want
boss
it to
here.
stop.
Girl, you taking this thing overboard. The scent of your cologne still in me clothes.
You're telling your friends it does
Give me blows, but behind
close does nobody.
what's the bill? Who be second?
Cause she have the thing where does hold me.
Hold me, hold me.
The thing she used to control me.
It's the thing she used to can.
I cannot forget the things where she told me.
You like this song? You like this song? She got the thing what does make me dust. Take it low, my quotes. Low. Obia. 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 I just put my hands on me.
I'm Smokey Joe, and I'm associated with the Smokey Joe Road Show. Smokey Joe Road Show was started 10 years ago. I'd been involved with other bands for past 35 years, but we decided to go out with Smokey Joe Road Show, and we came up with the logo of doing carnival with a purpose. So it wasn't just to go on the road and party, because we'd done it for 35 years. So we wanted to make a statement. And that's how, that was our ethos. As a little boy in Trinidad, very little boy, way back, because my grandmother in the 50s, my parents came to London in the 50s, so I grew up with my grandmother, and she had a roti shop in South Trinidad, and of course, she'd park me in a little cola, you know, the sweet drink box outside the thing on a Sunday night, because it was busy, and all the bands would be coming out Juve morning. And I remember getting a little costume together. You stay right here, don't move. So that's my first experience of wearing a costume. So mass band needs a DJ to entertain the masqueraders on the road. The sound systems are entertaining a crowd who really are not paying. They come into the carnival to party, right? Masqueraders come to party, but they pay because they pay for the costume, they pay for the experience. A lot of people think, oh, your costumes are expensive, but what they don't realize is that it's also expensive to put the truck on the road, the scaffolding, all the logistics of it. So you're not just paying for costume, you're paying for the whole carnival experience. And what we find is that, and we keep it to kind of the music of carnival, which is basically soca music, soca calypso music, a little bit of steel band music on the road, because unlike the Caribbean carnivals, Notting Hill Carnival is very unique. It caters for everybody. And so within the carnival footprint, you have sound systems playing reggae, you have sound systems playing soul, you have Afro beats, and they cater for everybody. And then on the route itself, we have the mass bands going round. So the music of carnival is soca music, and that's what I play. Although in my professional career, which is almost 50, I played in nightclubs in the West End playing funk, soul, reggae, and everything. But from the early days, I think the first sound system I remember playing on the road was a guy called Lord Sam. I think it could be said that he was the first person to actually put amplified music on the road in any carnival, even before Trinidad, I was told. Then there was because most bands in carnival, especially in the Caribbean, they had either a brass band or a steel band on the road. And Lord Sam came on the road in Notting Hill. At that time, when he was playing on the road for mass bands, I used to have a static sound system in Notting Hill Carnival. And so I evolved to that because with the politics that goes with static sound systems, Dexter Khan of Coquier asked me, he said, why don't you come and play some music on the road for me? So I ended up with Coquier playing on the road for a few years. And from that, we developed a massive fetting thing outside the carnival season with the Smokey Joe Roadshow. That's where the Smokey Joe Roadshow came about, where we did these events. So basically, carnival music, soca music events. And they were so popular, they sold out like within hours of the tickets going on sale. And that event actually grew from 30 people at Swiss Cottage to 2,000 people at Camden Palace. If you're having a party and you didn't invite anyone, no one will show up. You'll be sitting there watching your drinks and your DJ and wondering, where's everybody? And the same goes for a band launch. If you run in a band, you're introducing potential masqueraders to your costume. So that's the importance of a band launch, to introduce, get people to come along, have a look at their costume, and decide whether it's for them or not. And so that's the importance of the band launch. Also, it's also a social gathering where people who will be playing in a band get to know each other. They meet people the first time, and you'll see girls saying, oh, you're going to play in that costume, we can get together, that sort of thing. The fetes are also very important because every year, as you know, the music changes. It's even more so now because most of the music played in Carnival, soca music, come from around the Caribbean. Not just Trinidad, as it used to be predominantly, but you have Trinidad, you have Crop Over Barbados, Grenada music. So in the fetes, people learn the tunes, they get to know the tunes because the DJs play everything. So when they get on the road, you know, it's important to them. It's local homegrown soca music is getting better, very much so. Trini Boy Juicy, who has been spearheading that, he's taken up a bar. Also, remember there's the Soca Monarch competitions that take place at the Tabernacle and the tent, and they have also been very instrumental in encouraging the local homegrown people to get involved. And as musicians, you know, there was a time when, okay, you wanted a good rhythm or some music made, you go to Trinidad or you go to the Cards of the Caribbean with specific arrangers like Leston Paul or people like that. But now you've got, you know, there's a whole unity within the soca movement where you'll get an artist from Trinidad teaming up with an artist from Barbados, or 3 or 4 artists and the UK, and they're all on one tune. So everybody's kind of singing off the same hymn sheet at the moment, you know? And everything in Carnival, even with my band, is getting more inclusive. We've opened to include other people. We had Extinction Rebellion on the road with us. Love Music, Hate Racism is a t-shirt. They are an organization which is a reinvention of the All Rock Against Racism. And that's one of the main reasons that we decided to develop the Smokey Joe Roadshow. Because at the end of the day, Carnival has also got an element of protest in it. And we need to keep that element. It's a voice. A lot of people look at Carnival and say, oh, it's just a lot of people partying, but it's much deeper than that. It's not a political rally. You can enjoy yourself on the road, but make a statement with your sheer presence. And this is what we do.
I go by the name of Mr. Zaya. I'm a UK soca artist. I represent both the UK and Barbados. And yeah, that's me in a nutshell. My first question was when I was 6. I remember because my mother was always coming to Notting Hill Carnival, and she stayed up all night and she fixed the costume for me because it wasn't fitting me properly. I don't even know why at 6 years old I was so caught up about how it looked. But I was 6 and we went down to Notting Hill Carnival. She stayed up all night and she put it all together. It was so cute. It was like literally a leopard print skirt and like a little small mini crop top with all these gems, and then I had like little I had like little airs. I think I lost them by the time I got on the road, but it was okay because I still had a great time. I love making costumes because I feel like it's so important to the culture. I grew up around it, so obviously Notting Hill Carnival here and going to Barbados in my summers. So when I was younger, everyone went to play schemes and I went to Barbados to stay with my grandparents. And in that time, it's crop over in Barbados, so it's carnival. So I was always intrigued with the costumes, and then straight after coming back from Barbados, we came back here and it was Notting Hill Carnival and it was the same thing all over again. So I was always interested in the cultural aspects of it and how, like, you know, when you go to the Kings and Queens shows and they have all the big history of it, I just felt it was so interesting. And then it became cool for young people. Because when I was younger, I feel like there was never the in-between age. It was always the children or like really big adults. I never really saw teens or people in their late 20s or early 30s. And then it became cool. So I was like, I must start making masks for people my age and see how it goes. I first off started with Bajan Revelers. Bajan Revelers was a band here in Notting Hill. They disbanded a few years ago, but I learnt my fundamentals with them. Everything to them was cultural, but I learned so much down to making, to the logistics, to how to put the truck on the road, everything like that. And then when it came to mass camp, I learned everything about the glues and the gems, and I would never even imagine that there was different grades to feathers and stuff like that. So when they disbanded, I was I still want to do my thing and I want to do this and that. And it was my brother that said to me, well, why don't you just do your own section? And I never thought it was possible, because when I meet mass band leaders now, they're like always matured, established people. You know, like if you meet a CEO of a company, they're always like matured and established. So I kept saying to myself, well, I can't really do that. I'm too young, and you know. But it was an idea, and I went around and I partnered with Chocolate Nation, got my section with them, and the rest was history. I think mass is really important to my career as a soca artist, because when I'm writing songs for carnival season, especially, being on the road as a masquerader and then seeing your own masqueraders on the road that you make costumes for is so easy to capture the feel and the vibe, and you put that into your lyrics. You kind of know what people want to hear on the road because you're on the road, you're experiencing the road. You kind of know how people feel when they dress up in their costumes. So if you're singing a song about feeling like a queen on Carnival Day, you know it's just like you've seen it, you've lived it, and like without one, you can't really do the other. I think that influenced younger people in the sense that when I first started doing mass, there wasn't really any younger people doing it at the time. So when they saw me doing it, they were kind of like, oh, I didn't know that you could have your own section if you were so young. They thought you could only go and help out, which you can do, which is fine. But I think that me stepping out and doing it by myself as a section gave people like the understanding that they can actually go out and sketch their own designs, make their own designs. And it's always not about having the biggest band on the road. You can have 20 or 30 people, and if they all look good and they're all having a great time, that's the main purpose of it. We need a lot more unity and togetherness in the sense of we need to make sure that we come together as a group of musicians as a whole. I find that in the UK, we have a lot of admiration, I would say, for the international acts, which is always great because it's always good to see what other people's doing in your pairs in different islands. But here in Notting Hill, I feel like we own our carnival. This is our carnival. This is our representation of how we celebrate carnival here and the culture. And I feel like we need to band together and own it. And I feel like when it comes to our carnival, just like if you go to Trinidad and St. Lucia and Barbados, if you go all to those islands, when you go there, they're playing their music. and they've got their own designers outside with their mask. So I feel like when it comes to Notting Hill, we should be playing all the artists' music here, regardless. When the shows come, all the singers need to be on the shows that are from the UK. When it comes to designers, I don't think we should be flying in designers from all over the world. I think we have very much talent, like so much talent here that can make. I feel like we just need to band together, be more unified, and then go together as a team rather than someone belongs to this or somebody belongs to that. We just need to come together as one. I would encourage people to sing soca if they want to and they love it. I don't think anybody should jump on it as a trend. I find that a lot of people like to jump on trends that they're not really interested in, but they think that the music's popping, so they do it. I think that if you're really interested in it, I think you really should do it. I think you should research, and I think you should listen down to from calypso all the way up. Like, you have to go back to go forward. There's certain ways the calypsonians phrase their songs, and I know that a lot of people be like, oh, calypsonians sing songs that are so long, but the whole point is that can you, as a soca artist, write a song that's that long now? Because they were singing content, they were singing stuff that was happening and that was current. So I feel like if you're gonna sing soca, you need to know what's going on. You need to have your ear to the ground. You need to have your pitch in, and you need to have your notes going properly, because unlike R&B and all those other genres, we're not here to sing perfect notes. We're here to give a vibe. You know what I mean? So you have to understand the audience. You have to understand the culture and you know, how to be on the offbeat and that kind of stuff. So I feel like singing soca is great, and I think everybody should do it. But I think you should only do it if you actually have a love for it and you actually understand the culture and you want to propel it and push it forward. So, just like an army, we coming down. Pure love and friendships, we live as one. All area codes, but the goal is same. To make a memory, my team are best, my team are the best. We are the baddest crew, go out and tell the world. My team are best, yes, we're better than all the rest. Every single fete we attend, and we're fetting straight to the end. My team stand tall, front center we getting on. No matter where we go, my team is best, yeah, yeah.
Chocolate Nation started out in 2009 as a Dirty Mustang on a Sunday. We found that with the Dirty Mustang, unlike the T-shirt thing, to bring people into mass, the youngsters weren't really interested in just jumping straight into a costume. They wanted to dip their toe in first, get the feel of it, and if they liked it, then move forward. So, you know, at the time we decided to do the chocolate thing, there were so many paint and powder bands, and we wanted to do a little bit different. There was another chocolate band, and we thought, okay, you know what, let's bring another chocolate band. So we did, 2009. And it just stemmed from there. We got, our clientele is young. They start from 10 and go up to 50. But the youngsters, what we found over the years, they like grew, because when they come, they stay. They stay 3, 4, 5 years, and then they move on to, you know, other things, and then they start asking questions. Can we play in costume? Then you could see the transition between the, you know, the T-shirt, Dirty Ma style to costume. Officially, 2000 on a Sunday, and on a Monday now, in 2019, we had 1,000 in costume. Oh gosh, this goes back to Trinidad, when I was 18, I think it was, if I can remember. Proper costume. Yeah, Edmund Hart's. So that's to tell you how long ago it is. Enjoyed it. Different from, you know, playing mass in Europe. It is a different experience, and I think from what mass back then to what it is now is totally different ballgame.
My name is Nathaniel. I am also known as Simbali. I'm a UK soca artist. Earliest memory of wearing a costume was actually in the building that we're in right now. People's World Carnival Band is my beginning of my carnival experience, and yeah, so many fond memories in wearing green costume, red costumes, hardly any top, and shorts. So yeah, the costume that stands out the most is when I went to Germany with People's World. It wasn't so much of a costume, it was more of a piece. And I remember wearing these massive wings, and it was actually my best friend that was actually wearing the actual costume, but wearing the wings itself, getting dragged back on the road and stuff like that. It was fun, but it was very vibrant, had so many different colors, yellow, green, red. Starting out in People's World Carnival Band, you know, my original memories of it was just taking part in the launches, you know, modeling the costumes for children. And I don't know, I guess as I grew up, because my love for, I was very, I can't lie, it was a struggle. It was my dad forced me, if I'm honest, my dad forced me into it. But it was a struggle to kind of get up on the stage to begin with. But I think as my love for soca music and calypso grew, I just wanted to be more involved, because soca gives you a feeling, soca gives you, you know, passion, energy. It's a happy genre. It's not a genre where you're feeling glum. And if you are feeling glum, it expands into something better. So yeah, I guess the transition kind of happened when I just started to grow up, teenage years in school, and listening to soca on my iPod, and, you know, taking part in the Tabernacle, being a part of projects in the Tabernacle with my best friend Oba. You know, that was very, very inspiring. So when I became an artist, that just kind of happened because I've always been performing. So it just kind of happened spontaneously, in the sense of I just wanted to record and make music. I never knew what music I wanted to make. I just knew that I wanted to create something that made me feel good, and soca made me feel good. I would say, don't be afraid, because the world is very, very small. There's more people in the carnival scene than you know, and, you know, don't be afraid to just, like, it can start out with a simple dance class. It can start out with going to a dance class, or going to an acting class, or a workshop somewhere in a building like this, because spaces like how we're in now have obviously helped young people grow into adults. I'm an example. This place was my backbone for so many years. So don't be afraid to explore the arts, because the arts is first and foremost something that is so deeply connected with carnival now. And that's my journey of how I've come through as a performing artist, as an actor, singer, dancer. That is kind of my go-to. So yeah, just don't be afraid to explore your options, whether you want to DJ, whether you want to sing, whether you want to make costume. There's so many young people that I know that want to make costume, and that's something that is quite rare nowadays. So it's interesting. So just don't be afraid to just jump in. I can sing one of my things. So this is a song that I'm working with an artist called Prince Pronto, who's from Trinidad. But I have a little vibe. But the thing goes, excuse me, miss, I love the way you touch upon me. And I can't get enough, girl. Your style and smile is so amazing. 'Cause your style is more than average, and your smile is more than perfect. I need you to give me leverage. I'm not like the other guys, yeah. You're like a sweet rhythm with a structure and a chorus. Come let we jam. You give me this feeling like no other. I never felt it like that. Whoa, yeah, I want it. Touch of your love, I need it. Baby girl, I can't take it no more. That's a soca vibe there.
My name's Helena Bedo. I'm a travel consultant, and at the side, I do soca music and calypso music. When I was much younger, I used to help the mass bands make costumes, get involved with the band. Maybe once I think I remember playing costume. But I always remember when I was younger in Trinidad, my mom used to take me to go and see the bands and in Couva, central Trinidad. And I always remember loving to see those beautiful costumes and the paraders, the bands, the steel bands and everything. And they always had a nice glow to them. It always attracted me, and I always used to wonder what they like being involved in that mass band, you know. But I had played once, and I really enjoyed it. Calypso and soca is more or less the same because soca stems from calypso. Calypso is the slower part of soca. So that means the soca, it highlights the positive and negative aspects of society that we live in today, whereas the soca is more up-tempo and more like upbeat for the masqueraders to jump and enjoy themselves on the road to parade. So we tend to sing more of the soca to get the masqueraders to enjoy our music. There is a synergy between mass and soca music because they all combine in one to make a unique carnival experience. Without the soca music, we don't have mass to parade. And without the mass, we don't have soca. So they all combine as one. Carnival is the involvement of mass, steel band, and soca. Carnival is combined with those three aspects. And without any of them, there won't be no carnival. We all need each other to work together to form a unique carnival experience. So without the mass band, like I said, soca wouldn't be any significant. Without steel band, it would define the whole purpose of carnival, because carnival is steel band, soca, and mass. Without our music, there's no steel band. What would the steel band play? Do you understand? So when we think of carnival, we think of steel band parading their drums on the road with the masqueraders, and then our music is forming with them. So it all combines as one. I'm very good at singing calypso and soca. So I would advise them, if they're very good at performing, they can take the aspect of going into the performing arts. If they want to play mass, there's so much bands that launch their costumes and whatnot. They could go on the websites, choose the best bands that they want to go on, and whichever suits them, and they could be a part of that. Or they could place steel bands. There's always for learners that they could go and learn to play steel bands, whether it's metronomes or steel mangrove or ebony, but they have a choice of whichever genre they want to take part in. I think the community benefits because they have a choice to be a part of it anytime they want to. So especially the locals. They know about the carnival, they know about the mass, they know about the soca. We have competitions, we have mass bands parading and launching their costumes all over so they could take part of it. So it gives them a sense of something to do for carnival. I always look forward for carnival because there's always something, I'm getting ready to get my music ready. So masqueraders are getting ready to get their masks ready. Steel bands are playing and practicing. So they're all involved. So the community, if they want to be involved, there is ways and means of getting involved. Calypso is a slower pace, like I said. So what I tend to sing about is the positive and negative aspects of society. So like last year, I would sing about guns and knives and how moms would feel when their kids are getting stabbed in the streets. And it relates to the public, so I could probably sing a verse on that, Gazing by the picture of the child she raised, knowing she won't kiss his cheeks again, remembering how his teachers always praise the way he would work and not complain. Mistaken identity is what they say. Made him had to run till out of breath. Another teenager's life taken away. His hopes for the future robbed by death. And if you lose your way, think of a mother's tears. If you rue that day, think of a father's tears. Before you throw that knife, think of a father's tears. Before you take a life, think of a mother's tears. Her golden boy, her pride and joy. Think of a mother's tears, you strike in his is such a waste. Think of a father's tears, when you look back, your voice will crack, yeah. Think of a mother's tears, a senseless crime, and you do time, but she will do time for eternity. That is Calypso. So you're singing about what is happening in the world today. Some people might sing in humor, some people might sing seriousness, and this year I'll be singing about COVID, because that's what's happening now, the pandemic. Soca is more the fast-paced, upbeat tempo for the masqueraders to parade on the streets and jump up and enjoy, and maybe even the steel bands to take part of that music. And well, my song last year was called Sugar in Between. I will sing it, I'll try to remember. This year we go like we self, whoa, whoa. My daughter asks where the hell I going. I tell she that I gonna like up myself, yeah. She say you don't find you too old for liming. I say, watch me, I have this zest in me. If you know your forte, we working on it. If you know you're empty, keep working on it. You could be all 80. We working on it. My body look healthy. Keep working on it. You could push me on the wall. You could bring me back. So that is basically the difference between Calypso and Soca. A faster rhythm to get loose and, release your stress, whereas the Calypso is a more serious commentary. You just sit down and take it in. And that's why it's important to have the Soca in mass.
Soca monster is what I am. Tell them the king return. But when we together, we are a Soca star. Everybody! And we come here to move everything. Shake down everything. Move everything. Shake down everything. I tell you move everything. Shake down everything. Start to move everything. Shake down everything. Start to sway. Body mash up sway. Start to bounce sway. Body mash up sway. Make your body lean on our side. Just lean on our side. Lean on our side. Everything will lean on our side. Stop. Hey, hey, hey. The other side. The other side. Lean on the other side. Only thing I don't just make it blow. Hold on, boy. This Soca breeze start to blow. Hold on. Cause someday we start to blow. Hold on, boy. Everything got to move. Hold on.
Hear me now? Vibes mass. Yeah, man, you're a touch of class. Yeah, man. You come first, you could have never come last. Vibes mass, you ready for the road? Easy. Lady B. Kayak Sound's #1 sound system. Let's go! Huh! Vibes mass. Ha! Lady B. Make way for the vibes mass. Make way for the vibes mass. Hey! Kayak Sounds. Hey! Tell them we feeling good. Like a new machine, like morning dew. Fresh and the scene, but we go party to the full extreme. Unlike it too, with your salad when you see vibes mass.